Hello and welcome to Bite-Sized Book Reviews. This is Elena. I'll be standing in for V today to introduce the Mystwick School for Musicraft by Jessica Khoury. So this book was recommended to me a while ago by my friend Katie, but I didn't actually get around to reading it until fairly recently. I'm glad I did though, because it's set in this really fun alternate universe where music is also the basis of basically all magic. So think all our famous composers like Bach and Beethoven and stuff, like they weren't just great musicians, they were also great creators of really amazing, complex and powerful spells, because every piece of music they wrote was a spell. And that also means that in modern times, your really famous musical groups like the London Philharmonic and stuff are actually really powerful groups of magicians that go around doing things like saving people from natural disasters. So I think it was really fun to me that pretty much anyone in this world can use magic. Like, all you really need is an instrument if you're human. I clarify if you're human because there are some animals that can do magic with just their voices. I'm not sure why humans can't. It's just a bit unfair that way. But in sorry, that's my word?
I think it's okay if you want to tell me like what it's actually about.
Okay, so in this world, your magicians are split into, you have novices, so these are pretty much anyone. Like, if you can play music on an instrument from beginning to end, you can do magic. So if you want to make a living, you can do small spells that way without actually going to school. But if you want to do really high level stuff, you have to go to one of their Musicraft schools and become what they call a maestro. So the main character is 12-year-old Amelia Jones. Her mother was a maestro, but she passed away when Amelia was really young, and ever since then, Amelia's basically dreamed about following in her mother's footsteps. She partly feels like she needs to follow in her mother's footsteps so she can really find out who she was, I guess, but the other part is that I think that she actually does really like Musicraft, although for some reason when her grandma asks her this, she has a hard time clarifying that part. Anyway, so it's about her, first year at the really famous Musicraft school that her mom went to. So it starts with her going to auditions and basically the entire process of how she ends up going to this school. There are a lot of little mishaps along the way, but she does eventually get there. But due to special circumstances, she has to prove to the teachers that she actually deserves to stay there, which puts her in a kind of a different spot from everybody else. And the story basically just follows that first 2 months of her probationary period when she's trying to prove herself and how she manages, both to show them that she deserves to be there, and I think more to prove to herself that she deserves to be there. It also touches on some issues that she has with things that she can't remember about her past and stuff. I guess I shouldn't go too much into that. And yeah, I think overall it's just a very fun book. If I had to pick something that I didn't like so much, I guess I had some issues with certain characters who I feel like blame people who shouldn't be blamed for total accidents and do some really unreasonable things because of that. But overall it's a fairly minor problem for the most part, and I'm looking forward to reading book 2.